Hello, everyone. I'm going to be going over the research that I've built up based on the effects COVID-19 has had in Latin America. The country of choice that I went with was Bolivia. Basically, Bolivia has been hit hard in that region, not just by the virus itself and it hurting its people, but itself it's been having a political clash within politicians of who gets power, as well as basically the coming back of Evo Morales, as well as corrupt officials and as well and the major impact that the virus has actually had on the economy. Basically, it crippled the economy, and basically, there's been very little to no movement from the government on trying to combat the virus and pretty much stabilize it and finding issues to pretty much lower the rates of infected within the country. So basically, what I found was these protesters who support former President Evo Morales, pretty much creating roadblocks for the reason that they believe that the government has been doing basically little to nothing on supporting the people of Bolivia, on fighting the virus and coming up with a solution in which pretty much brings them back up since they're basically in the bottom right now. They, like I said, they've been hit hard and it's been taking a toll. And some of these people have been looking back and pretty much trying to find hope in the former president Evo Morales. He was exiled after his presidency, but it comes back. And Bolivian officials have said that he's not going to take any part in politics in Bolivia, but he does try to find his way and gain his following, since he still is the highest leader of his political movement, MAS. It wasn't too hard for him to find the following that he left back, even though when he left, they weren't very too happy with him. But with the situation where they feel that the government hasn't really been done anything for them, they're looking towards Evo Morales to come in and fix something. Um, since the government hasn't done anything. This draws into the political crisis that they're having. Since after Evo Morales, they did not have a president, confirmed president. It was an interim president, which is Janine Anez. And at first, she said she had no intentions of becoming president or running for president. She was just holding the position as interim president until the elections came about later in the towards mid of 2020. But with this whole outbreak and everything going on, she decided to go the route of trying to become president and postpone the election that was supposed to happen towards the beginning of the year, for the reason of her trying to use it for her agenda and basically build a campaign and build the support uh, basis to go ahead and use that for um, her pathway of trying to become the president of Bolivia. Next to them will be Luis Arces, who eventually ends up becoming president, uh, who wins the presidency against Evo Morales. Um, uh, Wins it against Evo Morales, sorry. And pretty much Janina Inez will end up falling out of the campaign, and it'll be between former uh, Bolivian president Evo Morales and Luis Arce. This goes into what I found as well, that basically nothing's being done just because it's political clash. People are starting to suffer, as well as since the economy is kind of falling in, these corrupt officials within the government are taking advantage of the situation and basically price gouging all the medical supplies they need. Like hospitals need basic supplies, mask. Um, they're basically buying all these equipment such as ventilators and body bags at a like 3 4 times the price of what they usually are, for their own benefit and pocketing the money, um, which I kind of find sad, because alone the protesters are making these roadblocks, and they're not, and that causes for the hospitals not to get the support they need by some of the shipments that they're getting from the very little supplies that's available to them. On top of that, they're not getting the supplies because they don't have the money for it, or either they're not able to get as many as they need just because the funding is not there and they're already paying 3 4 times price for basic supplies. And the supplies they're getting, it's not great. They're getting flimsy masks, they're getting flimsy body bags, they're getting ventilators that are not even working properly. um, and the ones who are benefiting all from this is the corrupt officials within the government. And obviously, since the surge and affected civilians in Bolivia is very high, and there's really nothing that they've done and to stop it since the government's so concentrated on the political power of and who's going to become president. And they just care about the clashes between them. That these hospitals are not getting the support and they're getting overwhelmed. That to the point where some people who have family members or themselves who are experiencing symptoms of this virus, they're not getting the help because they can't go to the hospitals because they're overpopulated and they can't even get the doctors to come to check on them personally, because as well as they're too busy trying to help others. Um, where to the point when they finally get to see them, it's already too late, and their family members of themselves are passing away. And one article I did find was pretty sad, based on all of this that's going on within the government, is that the morgues are overpopulated, the hospitals are overpopulated, no one can schedule funerals for them, or get them grave sites to be able to bury their loved ones. That to the point where they're passing away in the home and they're having to store their loved ones in their home for up to a week or two before they could get anything, either their loved one cremated or even just buried, which is pretty sad because this goes to show how their government's so selfish to the point where they're not finding ways uh, to fight this virus and to better their people, so they could get out of this and boost their economy by having fought this and getting people out to work again. um, their selfish intentions is causing more and more lives to die, as well as um, these family members or the people who end up passing from this virus don't even get the opportunity to have a peaceful burial or cremation, depending on what they go with, because everything's so overpopulated, and their family members are already mourning their deaths, and they have to keep them in their homes for an extended period of time. They can't even go to a morgue. Basically, that's what I have now. I do have other facts I want to implement into the paper, and I still want to go in. I did end off in about the very beginning of November. Basically, what I have left is after that part, after November, basically when you know now current president Luis Arce is president, and pretty much see what he's done and where have they got um, so far. And thank you for your time, and hope to hearing some of your guys's presentations. Thank you.